Thanks so much for joining us here on this Monday. I'm Brooke Hash. It is our top story. The Supreme Court just ruled a president has absolute immunity for core constitutional powers, however, not for unofficial acts. This case is tied to former President Donald Trump's election interference case, one of the biggest rulings this year. ABC's Perry Russum is outside the Supreme Court.
In a 6-3 decision from the Supreme Court, the justice is issuing a hybrid ruling on the case of presidential immunity, while ruling the president has absolute immunity for core constitutional powers. With the opinion of the court, Chief Justice John Roberts writes, the president enjoys no immunity for his unofficial acts, and not everything the president does is official. The president is not above the law. In dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor writes, it makes a mockery of the principle foundation to our Constitution and system of government that no man is above the law.
A very big win for former President Trump, recognizing for the first time this sort of immunity of ex-presidents from criminal prosecution.
The decision stems from a January 6th election interference case where Trump faces 4 felony charges, including conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and obstruction of an official proceeding. It's tied to his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Trump has pleaded not guilty. The Supreme Court asked to determine if Trump is immune from criminal prosecution. During oral arguments in April, the Department of Justice argued granting absolute immunity would put a president above the law. In a series of hypotheticals, Trump's legal team argued presidents should have absolute immunity for official acts.
If the president decides that his rival is a corrupt person and he orders the military or orders someone to assassinate him, is that within his official acts that for which he can get immunity?
It would depend on the hypothetical, but we can see that could well be an official act.
And the Supreme Court is ordering the lower courts to figure out exactly how to apply today's ruling to Trump's immunity case, delaying a case that's already been delayed until possibly after the election. Perry Russum, ABC News at the Supreme Court.
Starting today, it'll cost you more to cross the Ohio River if you use a tolled bridge. RiverLink just raised its prices. The Lincoln, Kennedy, and East End bridges will all see a 3.4% rate increase. And drivers with a RiverLink pass now pay $2.61 to cross. That's up 9 cents. Take a look at your screen there with the breakdown. Without a pass, expect to pay $5.22. Trucks with 5 axles or more with a RiverLink pass will pay 43 cents more at a new rate of $13 a trip. Without that transponder, it goes up to $15.61. RiverLink says drivers with transponders and prepaid accounts save about 50% per crossing. The new rates will be in effect through June 30th of next year. Well, people are adjusting to another change in transportation with TARC. The Transit Authority implemented its reduced busing schedule yesterday. 3 routes are now discontinued. Another 19 are seeing a reduction in service. Our Jose Alonso spoke with riders who say they are still readjusting their lives around these new hours.
TARC riders continue to be patient while waiting for their bus and navigating the changes coming to their traditional routes.
Valley Station bus is scheduled to arrive at 4:10 p.m.
Starting Sunday, TARC is reducing the frequency of multiple routes across the metro. They said they had to make this decision because they lost about 20% of their funding.
That 20% comes from the American Rescue Plan, but that extra money will no longer be available. Air Force veteran Christopher Williams has been a rider since 2016. He says these modifications to the routes will impact how he gets to work and home.
To get to my job, I may have to get up earlier and may have to wait longer to get home. And just to save money, I'm like, I'm not going to call a Lyft. I know a TARC's coming an hour and a half later. Or just sit on the bus stop and be patient and relax.
He's just one of the many riders across Louisville who are now facing changes in their lives to fit the new schedules. Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
To check out if your route is impacted, we have a link on this story at WHAS11.com. It'll show you a full list of routes and how you can find the latest TARC schedule. Dozens of TARC drivers, meanwhile, expected to be laid off with these changes, but a new deal with Jefferson County Public Schools could keep them employed while alleviating the pain of the district's bus driver shortage. 70 TARC drivers are eligible to transfer to JCPS. The school district said it will pay the drivers the TARC rate. If all 70 the switchover, JCPS said it could restore bus service to some traditional and magnet schools. Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio said TARC drivers will need practice with these new routes, which means you shouldn't be expecting them to start until the third week of school. Starting today, Kentucky businesses that want to sell, process, or grow medical marijuana can start applying for permits. It's part of an accelerated push to have products available by the first of the year when it becomes legal. The application for licenses will be open through the end of August. Doctors and advanced practice registered nurses can also begin submitting applications to be able to certify eligible patients. Kentucky's Board of Medical Licensure and the Board of Nursing will oversee this process. Tonight on WHAS 11 News, our Focus investigator John Charlton explains what it takes to apply and what's at stake if that application is incomplete. Well, Louisville's fire union just voted in favor of a new contract with the city. Union President Jeff Taylor said voting wrapped up and passed on Saturday, this after voting it down back in May. The contract still has to be signed by the union president and Mayor Craig Greenberg. Then it has to go to the full Metro Council.